welcome to JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And with me now, Joel Camilleri. How you doing?
You're really good, man. Nice and relaxed. Just had a few chocolate chip cookies, and now I'm just on my bed, just feeling sick, man.
You'll roll off it in a minute.
I'll be vomiting soon.
Mate, you deserve it. You deserve it. Good win the other day. So, but we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, before we go back on your career, how's the eye? Because your left eye, you said you were struggling a bit the other day. It was a bit blurry. And how's the eye doing?
Well, nothing's really changed. It's been blurry for about 1 to 2 months, but I didn't get it checked. I said I'll go through this training camp. I don't know why, and I'll fight, and then I'll, get it looked at. And at the fifth round, I think 6th round it was, I rewatched my fight. I hit to the eye, and I couldn't see out of the eye. It went blurry, really bad. I started winking and blinking, and now I can see a little floating black thing that floats around. So there might be a minor tear and a minor detachment of the retina. It's not really bad, so it wasn't an emergency, but I'm booked in right now with a specialist. So I'm hoping that it's nothing too bad.
Yeah. Well, I wish you all the best, mate, and I hope it's not too bad. But onwards and upwards and into their next one, as you lot do.
That's it, 100%. Health first, but no, it'll be all good soon, and I'll be back in the ring in a matter of a couple of months, maybe 2-3 months now.
So Joel, where did it all start for you? When did you start boxing? How old were you?
I started Muay Thai first, Thai boxing. So I started doing Muay Thai at the age of 15 and a half. And then I went to boxing about a year later. So I had my first fight at 17.
And it's literally, was that as an amateur you went from 17 and had an amateur career?
I had 16 amateur fights over like 4 years, man. I wasn't very active. I don't know why. My trainer was a bit older, and he didn't have us fighting too often. So I had 16 amateur fights, and I turned pro in 2012.
Oh, right. Okay. So from there, you've obviously gone on. You've had your 27 fights. I think it's 20 wins, 1 draw.
Yeah.
Not a bad career at all, mate.
No, like with 16 amateur fights, man, I was still a beginner almost, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, still doing my apprenticeship. The guys overseas have 100, 200, 300, 400 amateur fights, before they turn pro. So I've had 6 defeats, 4 fair defeats, man. 2, I many believe I won those 2 fights, but end of the day, I've got 6 losses on my record. I've got 1 draw. And I'm still learning, man. I'm 27 fights into my pro career. I'm still fresh. I've never been stopped, and I'm just beginning. Yeah,
and I think that's the thing, isn't it? As you had not such a big amateur career, you haven't had all the wear and tear, all the knocks, all the you've kind of gone in as a fresher guy into the pro game. So, like you were saying, it's been that learning curve. There's been sort of a lot of those fights, isn't it, to kind of get to the level you want to be at?
Yeah, like some people say, you should have had more amateur fights, but as you said, with wear and tear, between those amateur fights and those guys who have been training and fighting since they were 12 years old, they've had a lot of head knocks. They've been worn out. By the time they turn pro, they've been worn out, man. So my brain's still there. I did my university degree while I was turning pro, and I was still studying while I turned pro. So even though I didn't have the experience, I've got my experience now in the pros. I'm doing well. I'm 20 wins in. I'm rated pretty well, and we're got a long journey ahead of me.
What did you do at uni, Joel?
I studied a Bachelor of Applied Science in PE and psychology. And then I did my diploma of education. So I actually became a secondary school teacher.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what a thing to fall back on if you just decided to say, look, I don't, I'm going to call it a day. You've got a career sat there, haven't you, as well?
Yeah. Well, I believe that teaching served its purpose. I worked 5.5 years as a casual relief teacher. So, a substitute teacher. It served its purpose. I'm still qualified it's $450 a day here to just go in there for one day. You know what I mean? So I can fall back on that, but I believe it serves its purpose. I've built my career, my name, and now if boxing were to finish today, I'd be more into going out, doing my talks and seminars, inspiring kids and adults to just be and live a better life, you know?
Yeah, right. You can't argue with that, mate, at all. As I say, hats off to you for going and getting a degree and boxing at the same time. That's a lot of work.
It wasn't easy, man. I was studying full time. I was working casually, and I was training full time, man. And then I had an exam on the same day as my second pro fight, man. Like it was crazy, but now I'm full time. I'm got some great sponsors on board, and I'm treating boxing as it should be, full time.
Yeah, and as you say, you've put yourself on the map. You know, you've fought some great opposition already, and we'll go to weekend just gone, a great result against Luke Woods, unanimous decision, and as I think I saw one of your interviews after the fight, and you turned around and said one of the cards was a bit wide, wasn't it? It was a bit out there, but you said he won a couple of rounds, fair to him. He had those 30-second sort of bursts, didn't he, during the rounds that sort of showed off what he could do. But you got the job done.
Yeah, people look at his record and they're like, oh, he was 6 wins, 2 losses. He got dropped in a 3-round fight, and he lost a majority decision. When you get dropped and you lose that round 10-8, and you only got 2 more rounds to fight, it's very hard to win. So lost a majority decision when he got dropped in a fight, 3-round fight. Then his last fight before me, he was even, doing well, and he got dropped by a good fighter. So, and he went to the Commonwealth Games for Australia. He had a tight defense, but so he wasn't an easy on paper. You think, oh no, this guy, Josh should smash him. Josh should get him out of there early, but he was a tough fight, and that's why a lot of people won't fight him.
Yeah, but this is why boxing is not done on paper, isn't it?
It's not. Yeah. There's too many casual fans. They've 6 wins, 2 losses. What would you fight him for? I could have found someone 15 wins with 0 losses, and there would have been a much easier fight. People in the boxing would have respected me for taking on that fight.
Yeah, you look at, going back to what you were saying, you look at a lot of people's resumes, and sometimes you'll get a fighter that's had 6 fights. They've all been tough fights, and then you against a guy that's had 20 fights, and the 20 people he's fought, no one's ever heard of, or they've all come out of Mexico, or they've come out of wherever. And you think, actually, the guy with 6 wins has had the tougher fights and has got more experience because he's been in those tougher fights. So it's paper means, nothing till you get in the ring, does it? Do you know what I mean? It's
exactly right. Like I've had 27 fights and I've had 6 defeats, but I'm telling you now, man, I've been in the ring, got the experience. I've had over 160 rounds. I'm a tough opponent for anyone. You can fight some guy 10-0. He's fought nobody. But you go through my resume, I've fought some of the best. And as we'll go through later, I've fought some of the best in Australia, some who are really world rated.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, doesn't it? And, you're getting the job done, mate. And let's get it right. You're the new Australasia WBC Super Welterweight Champion. We don't want to upset anyone.
That's it. Yeah. So I won 2 days ago. I won the WBC Australasia Super Welterweight title. So there we go. We find out tomorrow where they're going to rate me in the WBC. You should be minimum top 30 WBC. We're hoping close to the top 20. And once we defend it, we'll move into the top 20.
So do you have to defend it?
Yeah, you don't have to do anything really, man. But the thing is, like, when you win the title and you get a rating and you defend it, you're going to get pushed up higher in the rating. And then from there, you're going to get the bigger fights.
Yeah. So when are you hoping to get out next?
No, as I said before, I've got to check up on my health first, make sure my eyes are right. But we'll see how we go. I'm looking around maybe September. Yeah. If I can get 2 more fights in this year, man, like, I'm happy. If I can get 3 wins in these current circumstances and situation with the world of COVID. If you can get 3 fights in 3 victories, defend my belt, win another belt, and push into to the top 15 WBC and whatever other organization we fight for, then why not? It's a good year.
Yeah, no, and hopefully we'll get to see you over here soon, mate. It'd be good to have you over here, or at least get to see you on the TV over here, because some of the Australian fights we don't get much coverage over here unless it gets streamed somewhere. Hopefully we'll get to see you on our screens soon.
Well, I'd love to fight over there. It used to all be about America and everything else, but now the UK, especially with Eddie Hearn, he's bringing the big fights to the UK, and there's a lot of big fighters over there. So there's some fights over there at super welterweight for myself, and I'd love to fight over there sometime soon.
Is there any in particular that you've got your eye on? Any fighters you look at and you think I'd like to get in with them?
I'm trying to think down the list now. Is Ted Cheeseman at super welterweight?
I believe so. I
think he might be.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I think there's Ted Cheeseman. I'm trying to think who else is at super welterweight, but
because he's got the British at the moment. You've got Sam Eggington, who's there.
Yeah.
There's a few. Sam's boxing this weekend, so there's a good mixture of people in there at the moment. Anthony Fowler.
He's another one, man. Like, these guys are all guys that I'm willing to fight. You've got to earn your stripes, earn your straps, and to get over there. But man, I'm ready. Like, I've had my fight. I've done my apprenticeship now in the pros, and I'm ready for these big fights. So once I defend my titles and win another title, then I'll be more appealing to guys like Eddie Hearn and the promoters over in the UK.
Yeah, mate. As I say, send him a tweet or get on Instagram and hammer away at him. That's the way to get to him.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'll be doing that. Just like Ebony Bridges from down here, but she
the more noise you make.
She's a bit better looking than me, I think. On certain occasions, anyway. No, shout out to Ebony. She's a cool chick. So it just shows, man, if you can get yourself out there and promote yourself well, the sky's the limit, and getting to UK won't be too hard.
No, as you say, it's getting recognised and putting your name out there, and being entertaining, showing your worth. People pick up on it, don't they? And they think, well, hang on, they'll either think, let's see how good this guy really is, or they'll say, this guy's really good, let's get him over. So either way, it's win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, they're going to see the 6 losses on my record, or who's you lost to. They're going to recognise, Tim Tszyu, obviously number 2 in the world. I went the distance with him, which not many do. I've never been stopped. I've never been dropped. So they're going to think, okay, he's got a good record, a good rating. He's going to give our fighters a good fight. And if we can stop him, we'll make a statement. So they're going to try to use me as bait. But if they take the bait, all the best to them.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. Well, before you go, obviously you've just had your fight. So what is the big question is, what's your go-to meal after you've had your fight and you get the chance to eat whatever you want? What is it?
Ice cream, man. The only thing I think about is ice cream. I just had some cookies, but everyone said to me, hey, after your fight, do you want a beer? Do you want to have some alcohol, go out clubbing? I'm like, no, man. All I want is some ice cream. So I go to get this Ben and Jerry's cookie dough, chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream, man. I came home. I went to the hospital straight away to make sure my eye was okay. I came back home at 7 in the morning, a.m. I opened the freezer and I ate the whole tub of ice cream, man. So that's my go-to.
I thought you were going to say you went straight home to the freezer, had the cookie dough, and then went to the hospital afterwards.
No. I would have. I actually would have, but I was like, no, I better go to the hospital first, at least, just in case.
So, yeah. You turn up with like your Ben and Jerry's wrapped in a towel on your eye.
Yeah, well, I was waiting at the hospital for so long, and I'm like, man, I should be eating food right now. So I sent my dad to go pick up some McDonald's. I had some chicken nuggets with sweet and sour sauce. I had my caramel latte, and I sat there waiting in the hospital room, the waiting room, eating my McDonald's, man. I wasn't wasting time. I had to eat.
I bet it's like the best feeling in the world, isn't it? To have something like that after you've had to be so strict with yourself.
It feels much better, especially after a victory. But then 10 minutes later, man, I got this acid reflux and my stomach's rumbling. I'm in the toilet, but it's all worth it, man.
It sounds it. It sounds it. Well,
Yeah, it does.
well, Joe, I really look forward to seeing what happens next in your career. You have to keep us posted, and send us a link or anything, any news you get that comes through. Let us know so we can watch it over here. And it'd be great to get you back on when you've got some fight news.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thanks for having me on there, man. I want to obviously spread my name around the UK. So this is a start, and I'm going to I'll keep you up to date with my next fight, and let's hope I'm over there sooner than later.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, you enjoy your Ben and Jerry's, and look after that eye, mate, won't you?
All I heard was Ben and Jerry's, man. That's all I'm hearing right now. But yeah, and the eye too, man. I'll look after that. But I'm going to go straight to the shops right now, buy another tub of ice cream because I'm out right now.
Well, on that note, I'll let you go. You take care, mate, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot, man.
Take care. See you soon.
See you, bro.
Thank you. Well, Joel Camilleri, top bloke. He's just had his fight this weekend, and he's really got the craving for Ben and Jerry's chocolate cookie dough ice cream. So he's off to the shop now to go and get some more. So yeah, wish him all the best for the future. We'll definitely get him back on again when he's got some more fight news, and we'll go from there. But thanks for tuning in and watching JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations, and we'll see you all soon. Take care.